Let's begin this now. The Nkabinde Enquiry into the fitness to hold office of suspended Gauteng Prosecutions boss, Advocate Andrew Chauke, will resume in Pretoria today. National Director of Public Prosecutions says Advocate Shamila Batohi is expected to continue with her testimony. The inquiry, which is chaired by retired Justice Nkabinde, was set up following alleged allegations that Chauke obstructed key criminal prosecutions and shielded high-profile individuals from facing justice. On Friday, Nkabinde granted an early adjournment after the team raised challenges that it says hindered their preparedness to proceed with these hearings. SABC News Reporter Ofentse Setimo is part of our team in Pretoria, and he joins us now live. Ofentse, help us get a better understanding of what these challenges were that led to this short adjournment.
Good morning to you, Ayanda. Well, from the beginning of the inquiry itself, there has been a stop-start due to some documents not being paginated or numbered correctly. So now and then we would have an adjournment when they would try to sort out some administrative issues. We know that Advocate Nkabinde, who's representing the South Gauteng Prosecutions boss, Advocate Chauke, also mentioned that he's going to call witnesses in the likes of the NPA prosecutor, Advocate Gerinel, and two previous directors of public prosecutions, and they actually had to get permission from the NPA in order to divulge the information that they had gathered while they were actually working at the NPA. So those were some of the teething problems that were there, actually hampering the progress of this particular inquiry. We know that it's supposed to actually find out whether the South Gauteng Prosecutions boss, Advocate Andrew Chauke, is suitable to actually hold his office following what you may call the pursuit of a prosecution of the Ketomena Police Unit and also Major General Johan Boysen. This following allegations that Major General Johan Boysen was actually running the Ketomena unit as a killing squad where they would actually target suspects whom they were investigating and stage some sort of an incident where there would be a shootout and the suspect would be killed. Now we know that the then acting head of prosecutions, Nomngobo Jiba, had actually established a team of prosecutors from the Northwest and Gauteng to go to KZN to try and investigate and prosecute these allegations. But unfortunately, according to Advocate Batohi, out of the 23 dockets that were actually opened investigating those killings by the Ketomena unit, they only found that Major General Johan Boysen was actually cited in 2 dockets. And out of those 2 dockets, it was witnesses actually saying that he came to the scene of the crime where there was a shooting immediately after the crime had been committed. But despite the lack of evidence, we heard Advocate Shamila Batohi actually say that, the South Gauteng Prosecutions boss, Advocate Chauke, would actually continue to pursue those charges against that particular unit. Even despite the fact that he was a South Gauteng Prosecutions boss, he was the one now actually taking the lead in prosecuting incidents that were actually happening in KwaZulu-Natal, and that's what actually prompted Shamila Batohi to actually report him to the presidency. We also know about the Lieutenant General Richard Mdluli, who apparently in 1999 was involved in the alleged murder of Opa Ramogibe, who apparently was involved in the same partner as Lieutenant General. And what happened was that he allegedly threatened to kill Opa Ramogibe, and when he died, allegedly, the advocate actually referred this particular case to an inquest instead of to a criminal court where he was supposed to be prosecuted for murder. And we heard Advocate Shamila Batohi actually hint that to a certain extent she suspects that there could have been some undue influence on the actions of Advocate Chauke, leading to him taking such decisions. But his defense counsel actually mentioned that, he's actually taken the fall for decisions that were actually made by the national directors of public prosecutions at the time, as he was acting in a supporting capacity. But to a certain extent, Advocate Shamila Batohi believes there is a case that the South Gauteng Prosecutions boss has to answer.
All right, Ofentse Setimo, thanks very much indeed for helping us catch up with what some of the complexities are. We know, of course, that today's proceedings kick off at 10 o'clock. Until then, for now, thanks very much indeed.